Like, you don't think there's a single person in the world who's out of your league who's a woman?
I mean, what does that even mean? If a girl wants to be with whoever they are, despite what they look, how is that what determines to be out of the league? Does that make sense?
We're generally talking about in terms of attraction.
Sure, which is determined by that individual person.
Yeah, right. But we're going to say most individuals, right? So do you think that there are some individuals that are out of the league of other individuals?
No. I think that's self-determined.
Never. So you reject that standard across the board?
I don't reject the standard. I reject the premise. It's like, okay, Britney Spears dating Kevin Federline. Does she not date, quote unquote, below her league? Still happened.
Yeah, so like no, the idea that I'm just referencing is that someone could be of a particular level of attraction in which they wouldn't find this particular individual attraction, or they wouldn't be with this individual, right? Like the idea of which, in like, there's a celebrity, right? A celebrity would be, quote unquote, out of the league, right, of someone in which they would not find attractive considerably in society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yeah,
so like so if you at least accept that, well, then there are gonna be some famous celebrities. I appreciate the hand art. Thank you so much. That are gonna be out of your league. Do you understand like what I'm saying in that context?
To a degree, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that doesn't necessarily make it relevant to if a woman wants to date someone or a guy wants to date someone, quote unquote, below their league. That doesn't necessarily make it impossible or something.
I never made that claim. What I said.
Right. So I'm trying to draw a relevance here. So what I'm saying is, if someone is out of your league,
I don't think attraction determines everything. That's again not what I was claiming.
No.
By the way, Alex, you can't do that on the live. Just letting you know, you're gonna have to do that a little bit off live.
Okay. But. Yeah, good deal. I'll go ahead and fix that. Yeah, so it's like, if you try to go, something is out of your league, how do you determine what is in your league and what's not? That's something that's very subjective.
Yeah, but I think that conventionally speaking in society, we can acknowledge things like that. Like for example, right, I don't have a subjective preference for like an individual who's a model who's a man, right? But it is the case that I can understand that he's conventionally attractive to other people. So there's some notion of me being able to understand, right, what the broader sense of society would necessarily deem attractive, in at least some sense. Especially because I can ground that off of the fact that he's literally famous off of that or something.
Sure, but what makes someone attractive has a lot of factors, right? So it's not just looks. A lot of girls date ugly men simply because they have money. I mean, gold diggers are a thing. Would you disagree with that?
There are some people that date people based on money. I'm not disputing that.
I mean, guys and girls. Kevin Federline dated Britney Spears not because she was hot. Probably, I'm sure that helped, but she also had a lot of money. And what was the first thing he did?
I don't know about making claims about particular individuals, but
right. So there are many factors, right? If someone's a good person, that would make them attractive, depending on what someone valued as a good person. That would be attractive to a partner. Top of looks.
So yeah, I'm not disputing that there are some people that do that, but there are also men that do that, right?
Sure.
So the idea is that like I don't think that's necessarily going to be true for only one side.
Right.
What was your point with that though?
So again, like I want to go back to why body count matters more for women, and this is just my humble opinion, and that's what I think. And what I think is what I think. People disagree all the time. And I think the whole reason why we're having the topic is enough people at least believe or agree with the notion that body count for women does matter. And I think a woman who has a son, if she wanted to protect her son in any way, shape, or form, if she cared for them, would keep him and steer him away from promiscuous women.
Yeah, so what about the same notion for men then? Would you steer your daughter away from promiscuous men?
To a degree, yeah.
So do you think that it should matter equally when it relates to your son and your daughter?
No, I think they both do matter.
So then what would be the distinction?
So at some point, you're going to want someone who, if I had a daughter and she wanted to date a man, he would need to be experienced, competent in all realms or as many endeavors as possible. You don't want someone to have a sexual experience, or at least girls aren't going to want a man with zero sexual experience.
So if the man's a virgin, you would say you don't want them to be with your daughter?
No, I wouldn't disagree with that. I'd be fine with that. But The question would be more, can she be okay with dating him?
Okay. Wouldn't the same thing be true with the context of any person who's your
So,
like
yeah,
daughter
so
or any woman or any man?
I see where you're going. So if you had a daughter who was about to date a man and he openly says, I've slept with 300 people, I was in pornography, would you
Yeah.
allow your daughter to date him?
Allow? Yeah, of course. Like you can, right?
For more.
I would say when it relates to, yeah, like, yeah,
Do you think
why would
they
I
would
have
have a
control over
successful
that? It's,
relationship? What do you think the likelihood of that is?
wait,
Because that's
I don't, wait,
probable, not what's possible.
again, but the thing is, that's her choice, right?
Sure.
I have raised her with the conditions to be able to make these decisions for herself. Would I like raising someone be like, oh yeah, the person that you should look for is like a man with a high body count? No, I would be like, men who typically speaking have lower body counts are going to be taking relationships more seriously. If you're looking for serious relationships at this point in your life, look for a man with a lower body count. Unironically, that's what I would say.
Sure. Okay. Why would you say that?
Because men who have lower body counts, right, are oftentimes more likely to take it seriously when it relates to commitment. And men have an issue with taking it seriously when it relates to commitment. I appreciate the handout. Thank you so much.
And you don't
That's a
think
big
that goes
issue with men.
forward?
What's up?
You don't think that applies for women as well?
I think that like it depends on age, right? But women are more likely to commit than men at my age. Appreciate the ring light. Thank you.
Okay. So who do you think is more emotionally invested when it comes to sex, men or women?
Like I think that women might like have more of an association with emotional connection than men do, like on the averages. But that's because men are socialized to not develop emotional connection when it relates to intercourse, right? Which is something I think that we ought to change in society. And that's actually one of the reasons why I come on here and I debate this, is because I don't think that men are held to the same standard when it relates to body count, and that causes that men to not necessarily look at it like sex in the same sort of connotation because they're not held to the same sort of standard.
Sure. So you want to fight for equality, right?
Yeah,
Equal across the board.
yeah.
What if I told you the vast majority of women, maybe not in this comment section, but the vast majority of women across the world don't want that?
Don't want equality when it relates to body count?
Sure.
Okay, I'm fine with them not wanting that, right? It's still the case that I think that this is what should be the case, as this is what I think makes sense.
Sure. Okay. So you think it makes sense it should be equal across the board. Do you know what happens when women are promiscuous? If it wasn't
Not
for-
necessarily. Do you know what happens when men are promiscuous?
Sure, there's consequences on both ends, but one has a greater consequence than the other. And
Can you give me any evidence of that?
being natural. So I think it goes back to being natural. If it wasn't for modern intervention and having the advent of birth control, abortion, etc., if women were to, and condoms and contraceptives, if women were to engage in promiscuity in the dawn of time, and hopefully I don't need evidence for this, but when a woman engages in sex with a man outside of the modern age, she would get pregnant and have many children. So a guy who wants to take a woman seriously, other than the modern times we have now, due to everything I just mentioned, you would be having a man taking on a woman with several children. Which would you think would be more advantageous to start a relationship with? A woman with several kids or a woman with no kids?
Well, I mean, so if you're talking about relationships, people would probably not prefer to necessarily take and raise other people's kids, whether it be a man or a woman, right? But it is the case that people are willing to engage in that. But the issue here then is that if you're saying it's okay for men to be promiscuous, or then it would be the case that a man could have multiple different individuals that they had partners with in a short period of time of being promiscuous, comparative to a woman who could only get pregnant once. Second of all, when it relates to like the evidence of the impacts of being like statistically different between men and women, when it relates to like being promiscuous, there's no evidence that would indicate statistically significant distinctions in terms of being like super promiscuous between men and women, in terms of if we look at like divorce rate or like success in marriage, like based on those statistics. If you want to talk about like the highest levels of body count, there's not a statistically significant distinction between men and women.
Do you understand the majority of men between the ages of 18 and 35 live a sexless life? And most marriages are sexless for the man. What do you mean not true?
It's not a majority of men. Not at all.
Government.org has a study out, and they had one. You can look it up. I don't have it right on hand. But
what's considered sexless? Is it zero?
As in virgins, as in the majority, the vast majority.
It's not a majority.
18 and 35 are virgins.
No, that's not a majority. It's not a majority. It's literally like
They live a
30%.
sexless life.
It's literally like 30%. I don't know where the fuck you got a majority, but it's 30%. Okay, it's like
No, I said the majority of men between the ages of 18 and 35 are
yeah,
virgins.
that's not true.
No, well, again, I would encourage you to look that up. And if you,
Yeah, I've looked that up. You are
message me and send me again.
what percent of men are
attack you in any way?
virgins?
I'm just saying, when you find
18 through 30.
18 through 35, the vast majority of men are virgins. They live a sexless life. And
You might be true for 50.52% of men between 18 through 24, right? But through 20, for men over the age of 25, but not older than 30, it's 1.9% are virgins. That's what this says.
Again, because most men don't establish themselves until about their.
Here's 27% for under 30. Yeah, I don't see what you're talking about.
But most men live a sexless life. Like they're virgins.
No,
right?
That's not true. No, maybe if you're talking between 18 and 20%, because 18 and 20, because that's 50.52% of men.
Right.
But that's the highest you're gonna get, dude.
Okay, so what is the for women?
This is for share of men under 30. Mm-hmm. Here, fuck, it doesn't show. This is the one that's commonly cited by people who are like right wing.
Is that peer reviewed?
This is the one that's commonly cited by them.
Can you find
from
one?
Date Psychology Research?
I'll stand by and.
It's from GSS Data, General Social Survey.
Right, and I don't necessarily need a study to pull up, and it's just for the simple fact that
you don't need a study yet. You just asked whether or not it's peer reviewed. Fuck off, dude. Like, you're actually so hypocritical. It's unbelievable.
I'm hypocritical.
Yes.
We already agreed that sex is harder for men to obtain.
Okay, and
So why do you think? What planet do you live on that you think sex is going to become readily available for a dude versus a chick? Are you high?
dude, even if it's readily available, that doesn't matter. I appreciate the hat and mustache. Thank you so much.
It's
not that, dude. Okay, come on.
I didn't say it's hard. It's harder.
So
Burden again.
So like if you have less opportunities, that doesn't necessarily indicate that you should be looked at in a more positive connotation for the same.
Here?
You having less opportunities does not indicate that you should be looked at more positively for the same body count.
Or negatively. But
yeah, so that means it's equal.
I live in an objective world. I choose to live in reality.
I live in reality too. Are you looking at assuming that I'm not?
Stipulations that women choose to put on a guy. I've been watching the comments and people are talking hella shit. Just on my stance, my look, whatever. And these are women showing what they're up to. It's like their true nature comes out. It's like I don't need a study to understand that women want bigger, stronger men, more capable. No girl wants, the majority of girl doesn't want to date a guy who's less competent. Because women look to men for safety and security and provision. That's across the board. That's not even up for debate.
So safety does not actually indicate that someone is more competent than you. That is not true at all. Okay. I want you to, if you just feel like you can make claims just without any evidence, right? Well, then I could just make claims. Most men don't want a woman with a low body count.
Say again?
Most men do not want a woman with a low body count. And I'm just going to say that with absolutely no evidence. Is that justified?
Since the dawn of time, men have want virgins.
Is that justified? Is that justified for me to say that?
No.
I don't take that into account.
Have you ever been to a wedding?
Have I been to a wedding? Yes.
Yeah. So what does a woman wear at a wedding?
Typically speaking, a dress.
Yeah. What color dress? Typically.
Typically white.
Right. And do you know what that symbolizes?
Historically speaking, that was supposed to symbolize "quote unquote" purity, right? Is that what it is now? No. That is not Alex. Let me finish my response. Okay, that is not what it's viewed as in terms of today, right? It is the case that people just like how it looks today. It is not the case that most people look at it in the sense of purity.
Right, but again, we're talking about the modern age, and this is why I say it matters more now than ever before. Because back then, men have always valued the same thing they've always valued: youth, fertility, and purity. That's why at a wedding, the girl wears white, and you can't even see her face until the moment they're up there with the preacher to unveil her face.
Yeah, by the way, that doesn't indicate that most men today prefer this, by the way, because it's not applicable today.
Biology.
Right?
It's ingrained in us.
Again, no, you're claiming that it's biology. Can you give me any evidence that that's biologically determined? I actually think it's environmentally determined. Right? Do I have an issue with necessarily people looking for people that have like a lower body count? No, not necessarily within the context of an individual who is looking for something that's similar to what they have, right? But if you're holding a different standard to like the other side that you're not holding to yourself, that's when I have an issue with it.
So again, you're fighting for the equality of it, but again, we are not the same, which we already agreed on that premise.
We're more similar than we are different, so you're gonna have to give me good reason to treat differently. And I don't think that the level of opportunity that you're relating to is a good reason to treat differently, as when we relate to the reductios with that.
Sure,
right? It doesn't seem to hold.
The equivalent of a vehicle that's a car and a vehicle that's a diesel truck they're more similar than the same, but if I stick gas in the diesel truck, it won't work.
There's good reason there. Then there's good reason to treat them differently.
That makes it difficult to sit there and try to lump it all together.
Is that good reason to treat them differently?
Yes.
Yes, there you go. Then my standard is applicable.
No, if we have to treat each other different, if I treated a woman the way a man treats another man, typically, it won't go over well.
Unless there's good reason to treat them differently. If there's good reason to treat them differently in a particular circumstance, then there's good reason to treat them differently.
What's a good reason?
Again, that's going to be determined by us as individuals. But what do you consider to be a good reason? This is just definition, right? So that the good reason is what we would talk about. That's what the whole point of this conversation.
Right. Again, so sticking back to the point, going back over why body count matters more for women than it does men. A guy with experience is simply going to be more valued in the marketplace. Now, again, I prefaced that with this isn't applicable.
Alex, we already had a conversation about this, dude. I don't know why you bring up the same points we already had a conversation about. Literally, like we already went over the opportunities point. We went over those bases.
Value different things. I don't.
We went over what people considerably want. We went over that too.
Right.
And that wasn't necessarily going to indicate that we ought to apply it now, right? Because it is the case that just people want these things. So that just doesn't follow. What is the reason?
Your point of view, which you didn't make a stance on that being objective or subjective.
Morality is subjective. Appreciate the confetti. Thank you so much. What matters to us is subjective.
Sure, but across the board, when you take everyone individually, subjectively, a lot of people chime in. If I line up 1,000 women individually and ask them what they individually want, you'd get a generalization and go, women want tall guys. Now, what is tall is up for debate.
No, you'd get these particular women wanted tall men, generally speaking, right? Is that something that we can apply to the rest of society? We have to know whether or not the demographics of the particular sample size could be representative of the population. We have to know if we took into account different types of variables that could be representative of the population, right? To be able to then estimate what the population would be. That's the field of statistics. That's why I fucking asked you for evidence, right? Because you can't just whip these numbers out of your ass, right? Because we actually
but it is going
statistical models so to
be worth it.
I'm upset with how society just feels like they can just like throw around claims with absolutely no justification and never holds themselves accountable. I'm upset with the fact that men will constantly not hold themselves accountable when it relates to body count or when it relates to engaging in intercourse with women, will constantly demonize women for engaging in the exact same actions that they engage in themselves. I think it's utter bullshit.
Demonizing anyone for it.
No, it really is. Men do it all the time. They go on podcasts and they demonize women for having high body counts, but then they won't do the same thing to themselves. They have a high body count themselves and then demonize women for it.
And I think that's wrong. I mean, putting someone down simply for the way they live is wrong, and that should be condemned. But again, you're allowed to have your preference. I shouldn't be demonized in the same way by going, I prefer only Asian women.
I think that's a bit of a weird standard.
Sure, but again,
that is a weird standard. Like, why would you only prefer Asian women?
I just literally pulled that out of my asshole. It's just saying, to emphasize the point, if I have a preference, I shouldn't be demonized for it. I don't think promiscuous women should be demonized.
I think there are some preferences that we demonize, and I think that's valid.
There's consequences to every action. And if the vast majority of men go, I don't want to date that and take that seriously in a relationship, you bear that burden for the way you choose to live. Like, if I choose to live a life of crime, I shouldn't be mad and upset and hate cops because they want to take me to jail. That's stupid. And I don't need a study for that.
Wait, sorry, restate that claim again? Sorry?
So when it comes to, having my preference, I shouldn't live a life of crime, and feel hatred towards cops because I want to live a life of crime and be upset that they want to take me to jail. and I don't need to.
I don't see how I don't see how that's comparable to anything
Preference.
I said.
If I choose to live a certain way, there's consequences to my actions, whether I like it or not, whether I agree with it or
So
not.
there are consequences to some of the preferences that you have, and I'm saying that you have
right.
you have an unjustified preference that you require for other people, but you do not require it for yourself. What's that?
Is it okay to demonize criminals for the way they choose to live their life?
Yes.
Okay, so you find it okay in that
Particular individuals, yeah, like I will demonize Hitler, absolutely.
Sure. So what happens if someone who does something that's totally legal today and then becomes illegal tomorrow just because they're a criminal?
I don't care about what's just considered illegal. I'm not saying any criminal. I'm saying some criminals, right? Not all. Clearly, someone who fucking has literally possession of marijuana and is considered a criminal under law right now, that's not the person I'm talking about at all. That person should not be in jail. That person should be in normal life, everyone else, the same way everyone else is, right? It's fucking bullshit that they're in jail. What's that?
You just said criminals should be demonized. You said that pretty
I'm not saying all, I'm saying some.
Okay. So you're
like for example, like do you think that Hitler should be demonized?
Sure.
Yeah, that's my point. That's literally that's the example I gave you immediately.
Right. So you should have, the whole point of that was to say consequences have actions and certain consequences deserve to be demonized. So if I'm sitting here having a society and they deem something not good, that is essentially criminal, it should be demonized. So when you have a consequence to your action, you choose to live a certain way, that's your burden, that's your cross to carry. You're fighting for something to not be demonized that shouldn't, and I think insulting people for simply the way they live isn't good until something interferes with someone's life.
Yeah, so I think that I don't really get your point here. I'm saying that like there's not good reason to treat men and women differently when it relates to body count. They should be held to the same standard, right? Regardless of the notion, because you're saying that the demonization is bad, right? Even in the notion in terms of prescribing that there would be a difference in terms of the way that we would treat is something that I would disagree with, right? So
yeah,
that's the basis we would want to relate to.
Yeah, and so real quick, I'm going to go ahead and chime off. But again, I disagree with that fundamentally. We disagree on how we're disagreeing, or you just simply disagree with me and what I say about it, and that's fine. And I think either opinion could be had, and I appreciate you having me on and debating.
Yeah, sure. People are asking me to ask what like the lightning bolts means. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. So when I was doing that, it's like coffee, energy. My philosophy of life is like everything is energy intertwined. And I had someone in the chat earlier before I hopped on the live was like, "Oh, don't you know that's a dog whistle to?" I don't want to say the word, but and I was like, "No, I wasn't aware." I'm like, so what do I do? Put 1 or 3? I was like, oh shit. Well, I was like,
yeah, you should probably change it.
Fixing that soon.
Yeah, I didn't know that existed either. So
right. I have a lot of things going on in life.
Yeah, you might want to change that. That's not something you want to be associated with, my guy.
Right. And I was like, well, that's not good. I was like, maybe I'll make it 3 or 1. But I'm like, I like lightning bolts. I like Zeus. I like Greek mythology and stuff like that. So. I just think
how often do you think about the Roman Empire?
Roman Empire. I like the Spartan society. I think more about that than anything.
Okay, I got you. All right, we're gonna go on to the next person. Appreciate you coming on, man.
No problem.
I was trying to get the claim if whether or not the Roman Empire was applicable. All right, we're gonna go to the next person, everyone.
Hey Parker, what's up?
Yeah, what's up? What were you saying?
Hold on, let me turn on my camera for you. I wanna.
How old are you again?
Can you see me? I'm 19.
For sure. So do you think that a high body count should matter for women but not for men?
Okay, so I want to start off by saying that question in particular, yes, but it's because of the information I have, and I'm totally open-minded, and I would love to pick your brain about this. Is my camera on for you? I just can't tell.
No, it's not.
How do I turn my camera on?
It's not really relevant. It's fine. You're
What's
good.
up?
Yeah, what's good? So why do you think that it should matter more for women comparative to men?
Okay, so this is what the information I was given. And that's that when women have when they sleep with a guy, there's certain chemicals that are released in their body that are different from men. And I think at the end of the day, we all want to be loved. Like if I asked you, like, do you want to be loved? You'd say yes. I want to be loved. Everyone just wants to be loved and they want to find a partner, I feel like. So these chemicals that women release when they sleep with people, it's mostly progesterone, estrogen, and oxytocin. When men, it's mostly testosterone. So, of course, men also have these chemicals in like their body, and it gets released as well, but not to the majority that it's released in women when they sleep with other men. And oxytocin is actually called the love hormone, and it's responsible for bonding. And more than that, it's also responsible for social recognition and the feeling of love. Like if a guy goes and he sleeps with 50 women, he can not really be attached to any of them. But when a woman releases oxytocin, there's going to be a bonding chemical that's going on there. It's my fear, and because of this information, I don't know if fear is the right word, but I feel as if I was to marry a woman and I knew she slept around, I would think to myself, man, that chemical is released with a lot of guys, and that does something. Maybe she's not able to bond with me as much as she could have been. Maybe, and that's how I feel. And I would love for you to give me some insight about this.
So the effects that we would see between men and women, psychologically speaking, from a higher body count, wouldn't be within a statistically significant distinction, right? So like in terms of like that aspect, I wouldn't see good reason to believe that there's going to be like a difference in bonding between men and women when it relates to like a high body count. In terms of like oxytocin, right? That just like, again, given our conclusions about how it impacts people, right? It's just not going to be relevant within that particular respect. Because, I mean, even if it is the case that it is expressed at higher rates within women comparative to men, right? That doesn't necessarily indicate that within particular women that it wouldn't be lower than that in particular men, right? And in that particular circumstance, then would we say that their body counts wouldn't matter as much? And I don't think that you would hold to that stance. Angela, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. So then the point is that like, it's not really necessarily based in that reason. It must be based in some other reason.
Okay. Yeah, no, I totally hear what you're saying, and that makes a lot of sense. I guess the information I was given was just that when a woman sleeps around, they can't bond with a partner as much as they could have if they had a lower, let's say, body count. And to me, I feel as if maybe that, because there is correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's a distinction between the divorce rates recently and then how women were socially allowed to like sleep with other men, right? And so I was told that there is a correlation between that, and that when women sleep with other men, it's harder for them to form a real bonding connection with a man when they decide to settle down. Now, like I said, I'm totally open-minded, and you seem super knowledgeable about these things, so I would totally just love to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah, so I would just ask like what studies they would be like referencing when it relates to that, because I haven't seen any statistically significant distinction in terms of the way that a high body count would like psychologically impact women versus men. Seems that like there are similar, the same within a statistically significant margin, which we would consider to be the same in terms of divorce rates, in terms of other sorts of things like that. So like I don't really I don't see there to be good reason to believe it's differently there.
100%. And yeah, I think that just goes with the whole oxytocin and the way the chemicals are released. And that's what made sense to me at the time. But with what you're saying, like I'm totally open to changing my perspective on this.
Yeah, for sure. So Luke, I appreciate the subscription. Thank you so much. So so then what would it be based in for you if it's not based upon like necessarily the differences in like the impacts of a high body count psychologically between men and women?
I'm not quite sure what you mean by that.
If it's not based in the psychological impacts, right, then what would be like the reason why you would look at it in like a more negative connotation when it relates to women comparative to men?
Well, that exactly was why, it was the psychological and the chemical reasons, and that's because I feel like when I eventually want to marry someone, I would be thinking to myself, oh man, like she slept with all these guys, and that chemical was released, that bonding chemical with how many guys, is she able to give me like the same amount of that bonding, the same amount of that maternity? If
she has the same body count as you, would you question that?
If she has the same body count as me, no, and that's because I have like a lower body count.
Okay, so like my point is that, I mean, if you hold yourself to the same standard, I don't have an issue with that. My point is that when you hold women to a different standard than you held men in this scenario.
Yeah,
So,
and like
so
I
if you
said,
wouldn't question, if you had a higher body count and you were like at my body count, I can still have this type of bond, but I wouldn't expect someone at the same body count to be able to reach this bond. Well, then it would be like kind of like that doesn't really make any sense.
I hear what you're saying, and like that's why I think it was the difference in the chemicals that are released per gender. Like when a man has, can I say like what words can't I say on here?
Just say intercourse or something.
Okay, when a man has intercourse, like test is released, and then when a woman has intercourse, test is also released, but other chemicals and the love chemical, right? Oxytocin.
Oh. Can you turn off your camera, by the way?
Yeah.
There's like a particular reason. There's like a
Oh, that's a
just like a TikTok reason. I'm not gonna say anything, but like I do appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
Oh, is it off? Sorry.
Yeah, just keep it off. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Okay, cool. All right. But yeah, that was.
Thank y'all for letting me know, by the way, everyone. Because I didn't even realize that. I'm not
If
gonna
you
lie.
guys are talking about the thing.
Yeah. That thing, right? Like, it's TikTok. It's TOS stuff. So.
You ever play Destiny?
I have played Destiny.
All right, that was the Ace of Spades, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but even then, TikTok is just like it picks up on that type of stuff sometimes.
All right, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, that's the only reason that I would ever think that like a woman and a man it's separate, and because of the chemicals released. And you know, I've seen like I have friends and they'll go and they'll just sleep around. And then I have women friends, and they're a lot more precise about the men they sleep with because they know that maybe a bond will form there. And so that's, I guess, why. But I totally hear what you're saying.
Well, then men should treat it the same way, right? Like, if they think that it's going to be so bad for a woman to do it outside of the context of a bond, well, then why are they doing that? That's kind of like the question.
You make a great point. I see in the chat a lot of Cade 6. Sorry, I was just a little distracted.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah. Have a great day, Parker.
You as well, you as well. We're going to go to the next person. Again, if you like the content, make sure to follow me if you're ready. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to 500,000 likes. If you want to help get out to more people, again, keep sharing the live. Again, everyone tapping that screen helps to get it out to more people and makes the lives more entertaining, so keep doing that, everyone. It's been a little bit weird today, though. But we'll see how we can get it up, everyone. I was thinking of running like a God topic later. What do y'all think about that, everyone? Or have I done that too much recently? I don't know.
Yo,
What's up? How old are you?
19.
Do you think that high body count should matter for women but not for men?
My take is if you do what you do with your partner and you know want to do it with whoever, how many people, as long as you get checked and you're clean, I don't really care.
All right, I'm just looking for people who disagree with the topic. Appreciate you coming on. All right, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, everyone. We are just looking for some debates, everyone. Just looking for some debates, y'all. Not keep this topic? Yeah, we'll see. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay. They've got like the most crazy background noise I've ever heard in my life. Slurs are a beta topic. Plus, that's Dean's topic later. What's Dean's topic later? The God topic? Oh. Dean's doing God topic later? Aw. We'll see how that goes. I actually low-key will want to watch that. I kind of want to see how he like, does on that. Trump topic? I could do that. I'm down to do that. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
21.
Do you think that a high body count should matter for women but not for men?
Yeah, I think that.
Why so?
I have a couple of reasons. First, as some folks here have mentioned before, there's a reason why people do have that preference. Like, for example, a guy or male in general are more likely to care about body counts. Do you agree with that?
Wait, sorry. Say that one more time. I literally couldn't follow.
I'm sorry. Would you agree that males in general are more likely to care about women's body count? I'm not saying that's the reason why you should.
So they're more likely to care a little bit more, yeah. But like women still care about it. If we look empirically
Yeah,
speaking, right, they have a number in which they say is too much, right? Typically speaking, right? It
yeah,
just
yeah.
is the case that it is a little bit later than it would be for men.
But not only do they have a higher number, but in general, people that think about that are males. They have that more present in their mind. That's why they complain more about it. Yeah, they're more outspoken
I
about
don't know if that's necessarily true, but like in terms of the reason why they complain, they just happen to complain more about it. But let's say that men do care about it more. Why does that matter?
it. That alone doesn't really mean that it should matter, right? But it does indicate that something there is happening. Now, if we are to discuss why is that, why do males care more about that than women, then we can see many evidence of why is this. For example, uh, males are generally more promiscuous, more uh, yeah, I'm more promiscuous than women because of nature of the male and female dynamic that has happened in all mammals. Basically, not all necessarily, but most of them. So there's a dynamic, and the dynamic is that women are more selective, and male are more promiscuous because the genes that male has is to
So why is it acceptable for men to be more promiscuous?
it is it is because in their nature they are I mean that's not why they are more allowed, but let me explain so I can give you the big picture. uh, in nature, right, male are programmed that way so they can spread their genes because that's how they stay alive. Women, on the other part, they don't have as many. They cannot reproduce as much as a male can, in terms of how they can spread their genes. So they have to pick carefully. So, when you understand that women reason to be more selective is to pick a better partner, then now you can understand that, oh, if they have a mechanism that is more willing to accept more people, then that mechanism also is willing to accept lower quality people. Do you understand? I'm not saying, and I'm not saying that's necessarily uh, the value of the people per se that they choose, but that's the mechanism in that's why it exists. Do you agree with that?
I couldn't follow a lot of that. I got like you're saying the nature is a particular way means it like should be a way, right?
And no, what I'm saying, the
Right.
mechanism that women have of being selective, that mechanism is there so they can choose a better partner, better people that they the more
Appreciate this the subscription. Thank you so much. Yeah, so they're looking for better partners, right?
right.
I'm confused what your point is. Like that's
my
just
my
like
my
entailed
my,
given
my point is
more
if they're
selective.
if my point is if they're willing to choose more partners, if that mechanism has a lower standard, so they are more promiscuous because they choose more people, the standard is lower, then that means that mechanism function, it has a lower value because you are accepting people that have less value.
What, dude? I'm not following at all, dude. I'm really confused with what you're saying. Uh, could you
You don't
try to
understand.
clarify? Like
What don't you what
what
don't you
mechanism?
understand? I'm sorry.
What mechanism?
The mechanism that women have to be more selective than men. That is
So,
a
so you're saying the mechanism that women have to be more selective than men, right? Means that they're going to select for like, better partners. Sure. How does that mean that men should be more promiscuous than women?
what that means, right? Is that when you see a woman have be more promiscuous, okay, you see a woman, right? You know that mechanism exists, right? You know that. So when you see a woman who is more promiscuous, it's valid to assume that that mechanism standard is lower than others. because they are willing to accept more variety of people because they have more partners, right?
So less selective indicates that they're more willing to like select more people. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, how does this mean that it should matter for women but not for men?
Okay, so you see that mechanism exists for women, so the standard is lower. So when you are with when you see a woman that has a high body count, you see, oh, she probably has a worse mechanism to select a partner since they are more willing to accept.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So if we're just judging on selectiveness, well then, do you agree men on average are less selective than women?
I agree that men are more willing to have sex with people they usually wouldn't
So you agree men are
select.
more selective on average. So are you agreeing that men's body count should matter more on average because their mechanism is less effective?
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. I mean, it should matter in terms that when they choose a partner, the thing is, the woman is the one that chooses, right? So in a man, shooting their shot is not really uh, something that you should care about because ultimately it's not him who chooses. So the need for saying
What do you mean it's not him who chooses? I think that there's both like two people choosing to be in a relationship or choosing to engage in intercourse, right? If it's consensual.
repeat the question. What was the simplest question you could ask? Sorry.
Yeah. So what were we originally just talking about?
Right. You were asking me if why that I explained you the mechanism. Then you asked me why then it should matter more for women than for men.
I was asking like, why is it okay for men to be promiscuous and not for women?
I mean, it depends, of course. In some, for a woman, for example, being promiscuous could be good, right? It could be like in a society where everybody is perfect, that wouldn't matter, right? Because like everybody is perfect, so it doesn't matter. But generally, right, since people are the not everybody is the best, you can have uh, the woman choosing who they have sex with, who they have a child with, is important because they choose who are they gonna get impregnated from.
Okay. And again, men also choose to engage in intercourse.
Yeah, but men doesn't choose if they want to have a baby or not.
What? Neither do women. It just happens in certain circumstances.
Women do choose when they choose a partner, when they choose a spouse. They are choosing.
When okay, if men choose to engage in intercourse with women or choose a spouse, they're also choosing, right?
There's a choosing, but ultimately, who has the last word is women. 'Cause they are
No,
the
it's
one
it's both of them. They both have the last word.
no, not necessarily.
Yeah. That's how consent works.
Of course. That's how consent works. But
That's like
as I
that's
said,
like actually how consent works.
yeah, okay. As I said, who has the mechanism to choose is the women, regardless. So the women
And
who
so does the man.
what
Why are we literally just acting like men don't have choices? Like,
Yeah,
are we acting like men are so irrational?
they
They don't have choices.
they do have choices. The thing is, every man, well, not every man, because that would be too wide of an assumption, but most men, right? That mechanism doesn't is stopped at the point of, oh, this person has a disease, this person is morally obese, this person looks this
Okay,
way.
man, I can't keep up with what you're saying, man. I'm gonna go on to the next person. I appreciate you coming on, though, man.
I'm sorry. I
Appreciate it,
couldn't.
man. Thank you so much, bro. Yeah, I have no clue what's going on. I'm sorry, chat. I tried. Tap that screen, everyone. Let's try to get to to 500,000 likes. If you want to help get out to more people, share the live copy link, send it to a few friends. You already know the deal, everyone. Chat, that was not enough of a win for me to switch topics. 41% of the chat is not enough. That's brutal, chat. We're gonna go on to the next person. Just give it a second, everyone. We're gonna get some people up here. Chat, this is what I mean. This is why y'all need to tap the screen. This is why y'all need to tap the screen. Yo, how old are you?
Hello.
How old are you?
I'm 22. Yo.
For sure. Do you think that a high body count should matter for? Do you think that a high body count should matter for women but not for men?
Let me get upstairs. It'll take me like. Don't kick me yet. It'll take me like 5 seconds. I just want to get somewhere quiet for you guys.
Yes or no?
Why should women have a body count? I believe I want to argue against it. I want to argue that a high body count for women should matter.
Yeah, but not for men.
Sure, hold on. I think that we should define the scope of this argument. So,
okay, I'm hearing not answering the question. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 20.
Yeah, do you think that a high body count should matter for women but not for men?
So honestly, I think it should matter for both, but I would like to share some opinions on this topic if you're okay with it.
Nope. Appreciate it though. Going to the next person. Only send a guest request if you disagree, everyone. We are just looking for some debates. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, we do need to even check if we want to change the topic in the first place. Because you know what? I'm gonna optimize it. You know what? I'm just gonna establish boundaries today. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Did that mean he's connecting?
Yeah, hello? How old are you?
Me?
Yeah, it's you. It's you.
Sorry, I'm 27.
Yeah, do you think that a high body count should matter for women but not for men?
I think it does, actually, if you ask me.
It does what?
It does matter. I'm sorry, this is my girlfriend's.
For women and not for men, right?
I don't think it does matter for men. It matters more for women.
Okay, so why?
Fuck, dude. You chose the wrong person to get on here. Honestly, I'm sorry. All right, check it out. Salma, go ahead.
I can't believe I'm like,
Okay, here, can we start this over?
Are you gonna go?
Yeah. So can we start fresh? Sorry. My name's Bryant. I'm 27. And I think it doesn't matter for
dude, just say it. Just say it. Sorry. He's a little nervous. We're just gonna leave. I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna let y'all sit there and be nervous for a minute. I hope y'all feel all of y'all feel uncomfortable. You know, I just hope that you look at him after this and you look at him and you're like, wow, you honestly, fucked up, bro. Why'd you make us so uncomfortable? That was so weird. Like, honestly, now we kind of want to leave. Like,
it's just I didn't think I could ever like join your live.
I'm just messing with y'all.
Yeah, so like we actually don't agree with what you're saying, but like I don't know, he like accidentally clicked it. I'm so sorry.
Okay, for sure, you're good.
Sorry,
appreciate you coming on. Oh my gosh, everyone, 80% of the chat wants to change the topic. Okay. 80%. Damn. Okay, chat. We need another topic. We're gonna have 2 topics, but I don't know. I don't know what I want to do today. I don't know what I want to do, honestly. Like, if people really want me to change, I will change, everyone. I will change to a different topic. I don't know which one I want to do though. I don't know. It's been a minute. Yeah, I don't fucking know, chat. What do I do? Most sent was Trump. Stop. I don't know. A lot of people are just spamming stuff. Chat, I need to do something new. You know what I mean? I want to do something new today. That's what I'm kind of feeling. You know, not something that we've already done. I have one that I'm setting up for vaccines that I haven't done in a while, and that's for next week. I have to set up what's it called? Here, I'm gonna turn this off for now. I have to set up what's it called? Like a bibliography for that with me and Matt. Me and Matt are setting one up for that. Climate change. I don't have a background for climate change. I do need to do a new one though. I had one set up I was gonna do. There's one specifically. I think I was gonna do why are you misogynistic? But I don't have a background for that yet. Alpha males, we have one for that, but it's been a while since we've done that one. The alpha male one. Flat Earth. Not enough people come up with Flat Earth to like even do that. Aliens. Yeah, no, I gotta see. Do more feminism topics. I want to do that, but it's hard to figure out what to do for the background. Okay, yeah, I don't know, everyone. I don't know what to do. Tipping at restaurants, yeah. Yeah, you should tip. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so lost, everyone. I don't know what to do right now. Dean, what is Dean? Is Dean doing something different today? Maybe we could do, death. People are saying death row. Wow, Parker lost. Yeah, I lost so bad. No, I just I had no clue what to do for a topic. We need to do 1 versus 1. Does a mod want to make a poll that's 1 versus 1? Okay. We're gonna have people spam what topic they want in the comment section right now, and then we're gonna do the one that is spam the most. In most circumstances, I don't know. I won't do every single one, but depends on the topic. But spam it right now, and then from the one that's being spammed the most, that's the one we're gonna pick 2 from that, and then we're gonna do that. So alpha is getting sent the most right now. There's alpha, slurs, alpha. A lot of people are saying alpha. Okay, I think alpha, yeah. Alpha and slurs is the most. Yeah, let's put those two in a poll. I'm down to do that. Put those 2 in a poll. I see it right here. And we're gonna run it up right now. Everyone put in the poll right now. And I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit a restart on the live. Okay, everyone. We're gonna hit a restart on the live and we're gonna run up the topic. Okay. What do you mean by alpha? I'll show you all the background for alpha. Let me see if I have it still. Do I have it? Wait, chat. Do I not have it? I might not have it. Yo. Here's the why am I beta. I might. Oh no, chat. Do I have to like look through my? Here's why am I beta. There's. Chat. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Here's this one. It's this. I will fix it and I'll make it part of my favorite list. This is what it is. Rip to the beta man. Yeah, honestly, people just like say the weirdest shit with that topic. I don't know what it is. Most people are saying alpha. Damn. We can do that. We're gonna hit a restart on the live. What's alpha? It's this one. This is the topic. Do you think we could do this one, or what do we do? I sent you backgrounds on Discord. What Discord backgrounds did you send me, and where can I find them real quick? I will look at them. Where'd you put them? And what's your name? Would it be this one, chat? We could do this one, or source 1 2 times. But I mean, it's not winning right now. It's getting the L right now. That's 560 people have voted. I don't know. Censorship versus speech. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I just like the thing is with this topic, everyone, it's like really confusing. I'm trying to get people to like, it's with the specific definition that we have of alpha. Like they see themselves to be superior to others. Dude, people in the chat, it's like actually so brutal. Half the people will be like, it's so boring. Half the people will be like, it's so good. I mean, is there a topic that gets everyone? I don't think there is. I really don't think so. Well, hey, if y'all don't like alpha, why did y'all vote for it? Please make it make sense. Please make it make sense. Matt said to do the slurs topic. Do we take the judge override from Matt? A lot of people are saying abortion. Dude, a lot of people are saying yes. Mo sent no. I'm so conflicted, chat. I'm so conflicted. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how conflicted I am. Okay, you know what? We're restarting, and I'm just gonna randomly select one, okay? I'll be right fucking back, okay? Love y'all so much. Everyone, when I come back, y'all better tap that screen. Whatever I do, everyone, I need everyone to tap that screen so hard. Like, I want us to hit 250,000 likes so quickly, okay, everyone? We're gonna make the live go crazy, okay? And we're gonna share that live, right? Y'all already know the deal. Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Okay, I'll be right back, everyone.